Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. First came the Norsemen, all Scandinavian, extremely coarse men, mostly unshaven. They wandered inland and called it Vinland, this land that's made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, this far from Norway, we just won't try land. The average Viking has no great liking for this land that's made for you and me. The early French had extreme persistence, despite the Indians' combined resistance. With righteous feeling, they started stealing this land that's made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, this voyageur and fleur-de-lis land, so populated, then separated, this land that's made for you and me. Then came the English and assorted henchmen who started fighting with all those Frenchmen through this spot of bother. They told each other, I say, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, this Rule Britannia, steak and kidney pie land, this land of Tory, of hope and glory, this land that's made for you and me. While French and English were busy crying, US investors were quietly buying. We didn't spot it until they'd got it. This land that's made for you and me. This land ain't your land, this land ain't my land, this all Canadian pie in the sky land. Though we bemoan it, we still don't own it. This land that's made for you and me.
You all, this land is mine and Ladybirds.
On behalf of the Canadian Centennial Commission, we want all you rich Americans to know that this land to the north is a country with a vision, and it isn't just a wilderness of icicles and snow. So come up to Canada, come up to Canada, the true brave Northland where we live in maple trees. You can hunt and ski and fish and shoot, long as you bring lots of loot, we'll make sure that your money doesn't freeze. We've got many fine attractions in the countryside, so pretty, where the tourists can go and rubberneck. You can see life Torontonians commuting to the city, or watch French-Canadian separatists conspiring in Quebec. So come up to Canada, come up to Canada, your next door neighbor that is here to welcome you. You can drink our strong Canadian booze, see us in our igaloos, we'll put the act on specially for you. There are natural phenomena like waterfalls and caverns, there's a new surprise in every rock and rill. And the waiters are just hovering in the restaurants and taverns where they make a 10-cent premium on a Yankee dollar bill. So come up to Canada, come up to Canada, the wide, wide country where the folks are simply grand. We'll ask about your Uncle Sam and how you're doing in Vietnam. We're always glad to take you by the hand. Now 1967 should put Canada in orbit. That's the year of our centennial, you know. And there'll be a flood of tourists, but we think we can absorb it. And in 1968 we'll sit and count up all the dough. So come up to Canada, come up to Canada, the young Dominion where the snow's up to your knees. We've got tons and tons of Arctic air, scores of Mounties everywhere. We'll be just as Canadian as you please. and we'll make darn sure your money doesn't freeze. Let me tell you a story about a girl I know. She lived up in Ottawa some time ago. Back to the fatherland this Fraulein went. Now her memory is breaking up the government. And Gerda, I suppose you've heard about what the liberals are doing to me. There's a crescendo of innuendo about my alleged impropriety. When you were in Canada just a few years ago, they say I told you little secrets no Fraulein should know. And Gerda, it's simply murder what the liberals are doing to me. I cannot pardon that Mr. Carden for raising such a heck of a fuss. He's telling stories about the Tories, but why did he pick on us? Well, he says you were subversive and you kept out of sight. If he means undercover, I suppose that he's right. And Gerda, it's simply murder what the liberals are doing to me. Hey, Gerda, well, I could swear to an affidavit that you never meant a thing, but they keep saying that we were playing, or else having a hell of a fling. When you will, in other way, you were never alone, and you weren't too conservative with what was your own. And Gerda, it's simply murder what the liberals are doing to me. They put the finger on Miss Monsinger just to raise a political stench, with implications, relations that could upset both the Germans and French. Well, now they say that Liz and Richard just couldn't compare, and as for Romeo and Juliet, well, they were nowhere. But Gerda, it's simply murder what the liberals are doing to me. Keep your mouth shut, the liberals are doing to me. They're only jealous. Oh, what the liberals are doing to me. Oh, this is the place where the lawmakers gather. A cute little village we don't have to name. It's certainly pretty, our capital city, where everyone's playing the Parliament game. The way that they play it is simple to follow. The law of the jungle by different name, and any exponent can crush his opponent by cheating a bit at the Parliament game. The government's held by the Liberal Party. They have a majority, only quite fair. They're right at the helm, but someone should tell them they're steering the country, but no one knows where. The boss of the party is Lester B. Pearson, an elegant chap in his polka dot tie. When faced with decision, he takes the position, just kick it around and you'll always get by. Her Majesty is loyal and bold opposition. They're here for the people who can't stand the grits. They couldn't care less if the country is a mess. Just embarrass the government, tear them to bits. They're led by a battle-scarred old gladiator, the pride of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan's champ. But they're telling the story, he's only his Tory, and they're starting to follow the opposite camp. There's Creditor Thompson and Socialist Douglas. They stand by the sidelines and quietly look on. But don't let them kid you, whatever
did you just give them the chance, they'd be Lester and John. There's hundreds of players, there's some from each party. To work for the voter is their common goal. It's certainly nice to see such sacrifice, and it's not for the money, or so we've been told.
You can keep your lacrosse and your swimming and tennis. Your hockey and football are boring and tame. Get in the big league for deceit and intrigue, for there's nothing on earth like the Parliament game.
Oh, gather round mes enfants and listen to my tale, and I'll tell you of a most disturbing fact. How General Louis Montcalm was so horribly betrayed on a cold October night in old Quebec. He had heard it on the grapevine that the British they might land, but he didn't know just when and where for sure. And he was waiting for a phone call from a brother of his aunt, who was watching from the coast of Labrador. Now it was simple for his uncle, for all he had to do was to call collect when Wolfie hove in sight. But he met a little mamselle who liked to parlez-vous, and he crept into her boudoir for the night. So while the General's uncle was otherwise engaged, the English came a-struggling up the creek on a dirty British coaster full of cricket bats and tea, enough to last the Empire for a week.
I say.
Well, now ignorance is bliss, and Louis didn't know that the limeys were scrambling up the banks. So he thought he'd spend an evening at a place where he was known, where it wouldn't cost him more than 50 francs. Well, the fiddles was a-playin' and the air was getting warm, and the General was ogling a wench. He had ditched his trusty sabre and was dancing up a storm. It was just like July 4th, only in French. Around the hour of midnight came a knock upon the door, which scared the General right out of his life. For how was he to know that it was only General Wolfe? Why, he thought he'd been discovered by his wife.
Louis?
So he opened up the window and he beat a quick retreat, and he didn't even take the time to dress. And as for General Wolfe, he went a-stomping up the street, muttering that he must have got the wrong address. Now you can scan the leaves of history, and this story you won't read, for it tends to make the best historians frown. But there's a little moral which all of us could heed. Don't let 'em catch you when you got your britches down.
Da 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 da. Now some men play at football and make it a success,
And some men race their motorbikes while others stick to chess.
some even take up dueling, which isn't very nice. But we've got something much more grueling, and we're keeping it on ice.
For
We've got hockey night in Canada, hockey night in Canada. That's where all the players and spectators have a ball, and while the voice of Foster Hewitt tells the listeners how we do it, once more for the viewers, let's have another brawl. Our hockey sticks are just the length to split a fella's chin.
our skates are nicely sharpened to slash a fellow's shin.
We cruise across the blue line, and if we've any luck, We'll hit the rival goalie in the navel with the puck.
Oh! When we're on hockey night in Canada, hockey night in Canada, each Canadian schoolboy knows that what we're doing's right. For the players they're supporting teach the youngsters to be sporting. They don't see too much hockey, but we show 'em how to fight.
We've got the TV ratings, the best you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, if war broke out on Saturday, we'd keep it off the screen.
You can talk about your parties and political intrigue.
We're the only country governed by the National Hockey League.
And so on hockey night in Canada, hockey night in Canada, selling beer and gasoline's the reason why we're here. And though faced with summer layoffs, when we've staggered through the playoffs, keep the band-aids ready, we'll be back again next year. We're Canadian politicians in extremely good positions, and we'll tell you our ambitions so that you can make a note. For we're very well respected and strategically connected, and we know we'll be elected when you all get out and vote.
I'm conservative,
Progressive.
and my record's most impressive, and they'll never say I'm guilty of sitting on the fence. So come on with the Tories, and don't believe those stories that are being circulated by Mr. Justice Spence.
So come on with the Tories, and don't believe the stories that are being circulated by Mr. Justice Spence.
I'm a comrade, hale and hearty, from the New Democratic Party, and a fine upstanding sample of the proletariat. But in case you guys elect me so the workers won't suspect me, well, I guess I'm going to have to sell my Cadillac and my yacht.
But if you guys elect him so the workers won't suspect him, we guess he's gonna have to sell his Cadillac and yacht. Oh, the outlook will be sunny in this land of milk and honey when we've printed lots of money, that's the social credit plan. But in case it starts inflation and it might affect the nation, why, we'll print another billion just as quickly as we can. But if it starts inflation and it might affect the nation, we'll print another billion just as quickly as we can.
I'm the Liberal standard bearer, and I wish to make it clearer that I never took a penny from them thugs in Montreal.
You're a dirty robber.
There was no one that I knew what was in the SIU, and I never was connected with the Revard case at all.
There was no one that he knew what was in the SIU, and he never was connected with the Revard case at all.
So vote for me!
No vote for me!
Vote for me!
No vote for me.
I'm the proper man for your constituency. For I represent the faction that should win the next election, and there won't be no corruption if you'll only vote for me. Happy birthday, oh Canada. Heureuse fête à vous. Oh, we're 100 years old today. Yes, we're 100 years old today. Though by standards European we are new upon the scene, you will know just what we mean when we say that we're united from sea to sea, from Newfoundland across to BC. Now we should just convince Quebec Confederation's in effect, 'cause we're 100 years old today. Oh, we're 100 years old, that's good. Yes, we're 100 years old, that's good. And we're very, very sure we're politically mature, though we may not be as pure as we should. For we just finished our inquiry into sex and security. We're glad to just say Canadian capers finally made the foreign papers. We're 100 years old today. Oh, we're 100 years old right now. Yes, we're 100 years old right now. As the years have come and gone, we have struggled bravely on, though sometimes it makes one wonder how. But now we act independently in our domestic policy. There's even one or two things going that Americans don't own, and we're 100 years old today. Oh, we're 100 years old, you know. Yes, we're 100 years old, you know. We have thrown away the rag and we've got a brand new flag, which we hope all you Canadians will show. Now all we need is a national song, and our anthem will be coming right along. And if we take our usual line, it should be ready by the time we're 100 years older, 100 years bolder, 100 years older than today.
From old Canadian stock, and history's gonna record how I saved old General Brock. Some folks were mighty jealous cause they couldn't do it themselves when I won the 1,000 meters walking the War of 1812.
From Toronto down through Oakville to Niagara on the lake, these boots were made for walking, but they make my tootsies ache.
I bought them in Toronto at a cut-rate clothing store. By the time I got to Hamilton, my feet were pretty sore. I plodded through Fort Erie, the rain came pouring down, and even though my boots were soaked, they squeaked all over town.
From Burlington to Dundas and on to Stony Creek, these boots were made for walking, but I wish they didn't squeak.
I so alarmed the garrison with all the noise they made. I didn't have to tell them that the Yankees might invade. The soldiers were all ready and drove the Yankees back, and I won the Upper Canada Cup and $100 check.
From Lancaster to Grimsby by the Queen Elizabeth Way, these boots were made for walking, but they wore my socks away. So if you're up on Queenston Heights on a night that's cold and clear, the squeaking of some go-go boots you suddenly may hear. And if you stay to listen to those phantom squeaking shoes, you'll hear the ghost of Laura singing Secord's Walking Blues.
These boots were made for walking, I know whereof I speak. These boots were made for walking, but I wish they didn't squeak.
Now everybody's heard about the Emmy, and the Oscars also known in every land. But at last the unions come up with a trophy that's available to every working man. For there's something that the public doesn't realize. It's a little bit of news that they should hear, that the fellow they see picketing this morning next week may be the striker of the year. And it's strike, strike, strike should be a watchword. Sing the chorus loud and clear. If there's something you don't like, you should get the boys to strike, and you may be named the striker of the year. Now strikesmanship's a game of concentration. It's not something that you pick up in a day. But if you want to get the nomination, you should listen to the things we have to say. There's a dozen ways to make a strike effective, and the dedicated striker tries them all. When signing up your pickets, be selective, and make sure that they are 7 or 8 feet tall.
Now a strike is always nice in the springtime, and a wildcat can be thrilling anytime. But the best strike of the lot is in December, so that Santa Claus can't cross the picket line.
If the boss should want to start negotiating before your strike is really on its feet, oh yes, you'll find it just a little bit frustrating if you take off on vacation for a week. If your strike is not attracting much attention, just let a mood of violence prevail. You may even get an honorable mention if a couple of your pickets land in jail. You should practice rebel-rousing agitation. It's a winner and it doesn't cost a dime. But if the police take you to the station, you'll be sure to reach the finals every time. For there's lots of little grievances to foster, and the union's right behind you, never fear. And when you receive your chromium-plated Walter, you'll know that you're the striker of the year.
All together.
And it's strike, strike, strike should be your watchword. Sing the chorus loud and clear. If there's something you don't like, you should get the boys to strike. And you may be named the striker, the union's biggest biker. You may be named the striker of the year.
One, I'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now they say that Sally Rand was quite a stripper, and Rosie Lee's the mummy of them all. But there'll never be another audience gripper like Daisy, my Doukhobors doll. She was raised in the wilds of British Columbia by a Doukhobors mama and sire, and they knew she was an extra special number when she went and set her daddy's beard on fire. Oh, Daisy, Daisy, it's obvious that you've got lots of class. From your Rocky Mountain peaks to your chubby little cheeks, you're the hottest thing this side of Rogers Pass. Well, she fell in with those nasty sons of freedom, with all their nitroglycerin and stuff. They wanted our heroine to lead them, but she preferred parading in the buff. She walked down the streets of Crestova in a manner quite contrary to the laws, at which the local constable rushed over to see what she was showing for the cause. Oh, Daisy, Daisy, though critics tend to say you're kinda crude, you really keep abreast of events out in the West. You're the Kootenai Highlands' most aggressive dude. Well, that officer rushed in to apprehend her, ignoring her entreaties and her pleas. The magistrate heard the case against her, saying, "Just a Fairfax corporal, if you please." But Daisy turned her back on her accusers, and her outer garment she began to doff. By the time she stripped to her babushka, the magistrate was shouting, "Take it off, take it off!" Oh, Daisy, Daisy, the guys you see you stripping are in heaven, for you hypnotize each male from Penticton to Trail, and you ought to be an Expo 67. Well, that's the simple story of Daisy, with her bumping and her grinding, she's the most. Now she's driving the customers crazy, and a strip joint that's the envy of the coast. Oh, Daisy.